Yo, what's up YouTube? This is the DFS Riddler coming back at you live with another MLB video, here to answer all of your questions and solve all of your DFS riddles for this Thursday, May the 9th slate. I will be doing a video for the early morning slate, which just because that's a slate that I like out of the two main slates that we have tomorrow. We got two 5-game slates that we can play tomorrow that's available to us. And I do like the early morning slate, so I'll be doing a video on that. But before we do get started, just drop a like on the video, comment, subscribe. And if you are new to the channel, just to let you know, I will be doing a $20 cash giveaway once I reach 100 subscribers, guys. A little over a third of the way there, so keep on subscribing. Tell Joe, tell Bob, tell your mom, tell your father, your sister, your brother, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Tell everybody to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there's a $20 cash giveaway that I'll be doing once I get to 100 subscribers, guys. It's just a little bit of a token of appreciation from me to you, for you showing your appreciation to me and subscribing to my YouTube channel. So I really do appreciate it, guys, so keep on showing all of your love and support. But before we get to today's picks, just want to go over Draft Dashboard real quick. Draft Dashboard, guys, it is the best lineup optimizer and the best fantasy tool that you can find out there on the market. Ton of tools on Draft Dashboard that'll help you get the right plays that'll take down that big ass GPP for you. We'll start off with the MLB cheat sheet. On the MLB cheat sheet, this tool I love, absolutely love. I build my lineups, start my core right here all the time. It's got the locks, the best plays of the slate, the top pitchers that are in the best spots to make value, your stud bats over $4,000. It's got your mid-range bats from 3.5 to 4K, your value bats that are under 3.5K. And the best part about the MLB cheat sheet, guys, is the home run hitters list. This right here has a list of all the players that are on the slate for the day that have the highest probability to hit a home run. And when you're trying to take down a big-ass GPP, that's what you're going to need, guys. You're just going to need a shitload of home runs. That's the fact of the matter. And this list right here is a great place to start to get you there. So, yeah, guys, really love the MLB cheat sheet. Next up is the position optimizer. On the position optimizer, guys, you got so much information on here. It's got every player on the slate broken down by position, and it's got their draft dashboard rankings, individual player statistics, batter versus pitcher, pitcher versus batter. You've got the past 5 games that the player has performed, the last 5 games that the player has played against that team, how they scored, how they fared against that team in the last 5 games. Yeah, guys, the position optimizer is super awesome. Once you add all your players to your player pool from the position optimizer, you can head over to the next tool that I'll go over, which is the lineup optimizer. This will generate a fucking killer lineup for you based on the player pool that you have selected, all the winning players. And once it does build a lineup for you, it does give you the opportunity to upgrade your players as need be. I really do like that feature. You can upgrade players to a higher draft dashboard ranking to fit your lineup better, or to fit your stack better, however you're trying to build it. This also has a mass lineup generator, guys. Really love that tool. I've been using it a lot lately. It'll let you build anywhere from 20 to 100 lineups all at once, based on your player pool. And it's been winning me a shitload of money every time I use the lineup optimizer, guys. This thing is awesome. It spits out a ton of winning lineups at me all the time. But yeah, guys, that's the lineup optimizer for Draft Dashboard, the best that you can find out there on the market for sure. Last but not least, I'll go over the sleepers and studs. On the sleepers and studs tools, this gives you a list of all the players that are under $4,000 that actually have a high probability to actually get you a fucking hit, not get you a zero goose egg, because we all know those low price players have a tendency to do that. When you are trying to fit in all the really high price stud bats on your lineup, you are going to have some value there, guys. And when we pick our value, we want to have players that are actually going to get a hit, like I said. And this list right here is a great place to start. All the players, like I said, that have a high probability to hit that that value for their price tag on the day. But yeah, guys, that is Draft Dashboard. If you do want to try it, it is only $1 for 30 days, and I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it already. If you are a beginner at fantasy or if you are an expert, Draft Dashboard will make your lineups that much better. It will help you win more money, guys, and that is the point of playing this thing. Playing fantasy sports is to win more money, right? So if you do want to try Draft Dashboard, all you got to do is click the link that's in the description of my YouTube channel. It'll take you to where you need to go in order to give it a shot. And just give it a try, guys. Like I said, it's only $1 for 30 days. If you're playing fantasy, I'm sure you're already spending $1 every day, so why not make your lineups that much better? Draft Dashboard, guys, give it a try. But for the players that I have today, jump right into it. I have Carlos Carrasco for my SP1. You just got to pay up for this guy, especially in a cash line. If you're running cash for the day, I think this pitcher, he is the highest priced pitcher at 10,200. But he's worth it tomorrow, guys. It's a small five game slate, so the pitchers that we have to pick from are a little bit scarce. Carlos Carrasco is in a great spot. He's up against the Chicago White Sox, who only have a 177 batting average against them, 28 for 158. And Cookie Cutter has put out some great games this year, guys. He only had a 15 in his last game, but before that he had a fucking 32, 34, 39, and a 41 versus Chicago White Sox. His last 5 games that he's played, he had a 23, an 18, a 16, and a 41, and a minus 13 that he had at the beginning of the season. But as you see, after that bad game that he had, he's really come around on his numbers. He has that high strikeout upside. That 41-point game that he put up, he had like 10 or 11 Ks in that game, I think, or 12 or 13, I can't remember. But he does have that high upside, guys, so definitely lock him in, especially if you're playing cash. Next up, I like Chris Bassett for my SP2. Chris Bassett for the Oakland Athletics. He is priced at $8,800, guys. So if you were to pair him with Carlos Carrasco, you are going to have to find some value on your slate, which I will get to in just a little bit. But he does have a 100 draft dashboard ranking going up against the Cincinnati Reds. And he's been performing really well this season too, guys. Or at least in his last 3 games. He's got a 13, a 30, and a 25. Against the Cincinnati team that will strike out a lot. They do hit for power against lefties, guys, but Chris Bassett has a plus 10% advantage over the Cincinnati Reds. Only a weighted OPS of 547, guys. 3 lefties and 5 righties. The matchup is righty on righty for him to get a lot of Ks in this. So I really, really like this pairing with Carlos Carrasco on this small 5-game slate, guys, as my SP2. Moving on to the bats. Okay, so we'll talk about this for a second. I like Javier Baez tomorrow, but so we do have the Rockies and the Giants that'll be playing tomorrow. And yes, I fucking like Trevor Story, and yes, I fucking like Nolan Arenado, the right-handed bats from Colorado Rockies. They're gonna crush it tomorrow, most likely. Yes, the situation is right for that to happen. They're up against lefty Holland. All the righties on the Rockies are in huge play, and I definitely will have exposure to them. But here's the thing, guys. If I know this and you know this, how many other fucking people out there know this shit also? It's going to be super chalky. Everybody's going to be over the Rockies game in a small 5-game slate. There is some value on the Giants side a little bit. They are going up against lefty Kyle Freeland, so most of the Giants hitters that hit for power and hit really well are lefties. So the matchup is not really that great for a lot of the lefties that are on the Giants. There are some righties that do have some upside there, but like I said, not only is it going to be chalky, but those bats from the Rockies are fucking expensive. $5,500, $5,600, $5,700 if you want to play these guys. And if you want to get decent pitching on this slate, I don't know how the fuck you're going to fit those guys in your lineups. Because if you're going to get Carlos Carrasco, you're definitely not going to be stacking the Rockies to go with that. So I'm going to show you a few options on how we can go. We can go elsewhere. It'll be less highly owned and a little bit cheaper. So we will start off with a high-priced player, though. Javier Baez versus Miami tomorrow. They are playing at home in Wrigley Field. Very hitter-friendly ballpark. He's $5,400, guys. He hasn't hit a home run in like 5 games, and the matchup is there for him tomorrow. He's 2 for 3 against Trevor Richards, who is a average pitcher. He does have some K upside, but I like the Cubs tomorrow. I think they're going to explode. One thing about this, it's a hitter-friendly ballpark. The wind will be blowing out tomorrow at 10 or 11 miles per hour to center field. So that's a huge uptick for the bats tomorrow here. Javier Baez is due to hit a home run, and I think he'll do it tomorrow against Trevor Richards. He's 2 for 3 in his history with him, 1 single and 1 double. 1,667 OPS, guys. It is a small sample size, but Trevor Richards, he is a righty pitcher, and he does have that opposite split going on. He actually pitches worse to righty batters, whereas most pitchers, righty pitchers, would be pitching better to righty batters. He gives up a higher OPS to righty batters. So Javier Baez, even though he doesn't hit righties as well, he's in a great spot to fucking crush it tomorrow against Trevor Richards. So I really like him tomorrow. Get him in your stack if you want to get a lower owned option and avoid the Coors Field chalk. Next up, I will go over a Coors Field player just because the matchup is really, really good. I like Buster Posey tomorrow. He is one of the cheaper players that you'll find playing at Coors Field. He's only $4,400, guys. Like I said, I don't hate on the game. I just know that it's going to be a really chalky game, especially the Rockies players. But Buster Posey's in a great spot. He's a righty batter versus Kyle Freeland. 960 OPS versus him. He's 6 for 19 with a 316 batting average, 3 singles, 2 doubles, and 1 home run. So I think he's in a really good spot to hit a home run against Freeland, or at least rack up double-digit fantasy points tomorrow. I like his price tag at $4,400 in Coors Field, and he should be batting in the number 4 spot, cleaning up. So really like Buster Posey. If you are going to be stacking anything from the San Francisco and Colorado Rockies game tomorrow, definitely include Buster Posey in your giant stack. Next up is Stephen Piscotty. Got to give you guys some value since I did give you guys some expensive pitchers. Stephen Piscotty is only $3,400 tomorrow, guys. That is fucking cheap for him. He'll go lower owned as well. And if you were watching the game last night at all, he hit a walk-off home run to win the game for the Athletics in the top of the 13th inning. I think it was. It was in the 13th inning for sure. But yeah, he ended up with 19 fantasy points last night, guys. He had 2 hits, 2 for 6, one of them being that home run. Before last night's game, he had a 5, 5, 5, a 2, and a 3. So he's been getting fantasy points very consistently. Last 5 versus Cincinnati, 5, 5, 3, a 12, and a 3. And against Tanner Roark, Tanner Roark is a pretty decent pitcher. He only gives up a 616 OPS versus righties. And Stephen Piscotty has a 711 OPS versus righty pitchers, which actually isn't that bad. That's pretty average. But in his history versus Tanner Roark, he is 2 singles and just 2 singles. But 2 for 4, guys. He's got the 1100 OPS. I think he continues that hitting trend tomorrow. Maybe he won't get you a home run. Maybe he will versus a relief pitcher later on in the game. since they could be stretched a little bit thin since they just went into extra innings. But yeah, I just really like that price tag, 3,400. You're getting a lot of value here for Stephen Piscotty. I definitely don't think he'll get a 0. So if he gets you 5 or 6 fantasy points, he's going to get value. I'll accept that. And he does have that home run upside, as we saw last night with the walk-off. So definitely get him in your lineups, guys. He's at a cheap price tag tomorrow. Next up, to pair with Javier Baez, if you can fit him in somehow with these two together, I really like Chris Bryant also from the Chicago Cubs. He'll cost you $5,500, so that would be really tough with these pitchers. But maybe in a GPP, you could fit them both in together. And to get away, if you were going to spend that much money at Coors Field anyways, if you want the same upside with a ton less ownership, you could go with this two-man stack, Chris Bryant, Javier Baez. Chris Bryant is 1 for 2 with a double versus Trevor Richards. He's been absolutely on fucking fire in his last 5 games. Look at this shit, guys. He's got a 28, a 16, a 27, a 9, and 11. So he's getting double-digit fantasy points. He's getting in the 20s. He's doing this shit consistently. Last 5 versus Miami, he got the 28, 16, 0, 13, and an 8. So he fucking crushes them. Obviously crushes their bullpen too. He crushes Trevor Richards, and I think that he will fucking crush him tomorrow. So definitely, like I said, this is a really great stack, guys. High upside, get away from Coors Field. That's my plan. All right, so and for my value pick today, this is going to be a pick that I think hardly anybody will be on. Kendrys Morales. So Draft Dashboard doesn't have him as a starter, but here's the thing, guys. Mark Canha is still out at first base, and Chris Davis. So in last night's game, he was hitting, and then his hip was bothering him. He's been having a hip injury that's been plaguing him. So he went out in the 5th inning and didn't return to the game. And Kendrys Morales, he was the designated hitter to continue the game after that. So that's what I expect from him tomorrow. I think they will start him tomorrow. He'll be the designated hitter against Tanner Roark. And he's going to be in a really great spot, guys. He should bat somewhere around like stackable with Stephen Piscotty, maybe around like the number 5 spot. Look at his last 5 games. He's got a 3, a 10, a 15, a 19, and a 0. So in his last 4, he has hit very consistently. He hits Cincinnati very consistently. A 3, a 2, a 19, a 27, and a 0 last 5 versus Cincinnati. And here's the thing, guys. You stack him with Stephen Piscotty, he's only $3,100. You're going to get a stack with Oakland that has really high upside and has been hitting very well in their last games for a really low price tag. So that's where I'm looking at for value today, guys. And it'll be very low owned value with really high upside. And I definitely think that will work out. So I really like these picks tomorrow, guys. And like I said, not that I don't like the San Francisco Colorado game. I'll have plenty of exposure to it tomorrow. I will figure out how to get those high price bats in there. I just wanted to give you guys something a little bit different in this video. Different than what everybody else is picking, because everybody's going to be all over Colorado Rockies and San Francisco Giants tomorrow, like I said. So wanted to give you guys a little route to get away from that. So hope you enjoyed the picks. I will be back for another video tomorrow. And as always, make lots of money, guys. Let's fucking crush it tomorrow. And DFS Riddler is out.